Thank you so much, Heather.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I am so happy to be able to interview you today because I think your new business is just so beneficial to so many women. So tell me about it. What is 5 to 1? Now, what is
So
this?
I am 1 of 5 is that one person out of 5 in their lifetime will have a diagnosed mental illness. So, and then out of those, only 3 out of the 5 usually get the help that they need. A lot of people suffer in silence and they don't know how to access resources and treatment that works. And if they do sometimes go and find something, it doesn't work, then they tend to not continue. So that's what I like to do here is not only help them access all the resources, all the different things, but support them where they are in their journey too.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that health insurance, I guess, and a doctor can only get you so far, right?
Yeah.
And so you just need someone that you're there like to advocate and to
Yes,
help
yep.
out.
So I tell my clients that I am supplementary to those things, So
Okay.
I hold them accountable to continue to see their psychiatrist, their doctor, their therapist, because sometimes we want things to just work and be fixed real quickly, and it takes time. And also, it's proven that peer support gives you the skills needed to not have relapses, and if you do have relapses, because they're common, that you're well equipped to handle those. So that's kind of also where, not that doctors or therapists or those, they're not bad at all, they're absolutely needed and they have their purpose, but I love to really give clients the tools and tricks and tips and coping mechanisms to set them up successfully for a long time.
And so what sort of, what do you deal with? I mean, is it mainly depression?
So anxiety, depression. I do. I have clients from little kids, so like 7, 8-year-olds, all the way up to 65 years old right now.
Mm-hmm.
So everything in between. But anxiety, depression, bipolar, phobias. Phobias, social anxiety. I have. Yeah, it's really like everybody's so different, and I even have people that don't necessarily, that they've never had a diagnosed mental illness, but they're just stuck in life, where they just feel like, I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be doing with my life. I don't have purpose. I'm struggling with, just the stage of life that I'm in, and then
Sure.
it's for us, we just come up with goals and set like, we love to do vision boards and different things to kind of figure out what it is that you are kind of meant to do and help with that roadmap.
So can you give me a tip or a trick for someone who, I mean, with this constant barrage of snow and everything, people get a little bit down.
So SAD, which is the seasonal affective disorder, is high right now because, and I think, like we don't see the sunlight, again, it's snowing today. So I offer bright light therapy here in the office, which is over on that wall right there.
Yeah.
But that you can also buy off Amazon. They're really, really effective. Vitamin D supplement is a necessity for Westerners up here. We have to take that, at least 1,000 IUD, I believe it is, daily. And there are food that offers those too.
Yeah.
So also getting outside, even if it's like this, we still get the light, and being around as many people as possible also really helps. So like making social plans and trying to be around people. Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I mean, and how long do you usually work with someone? I mean, is it just depends on the person?
Yep, and I always say if I do my job as confidently as I say that I can, they won't be sitting in this chair week after week. I don't want to see them anymore because that means that I've given them the skills and the coping mechanisms, and we've developed, they've developed a plan and they can do it on their own and be self-sufficient. So I've had 2 clients go through my whole program, and it takes between, and the other ones are, working as we speak, but it takes anywhere, everybody's different, but I would say, between 2 to 6 months. It's very different. It depends on where they're at. And I'm trained through NAMI, National Line for Mental Illness, and Mental Health America, and the tagline is before stage 4. So we want people in here when they are at stage 1, because you can treat whatever it is much more quickly and efficiently. The longer it goes, it's harder to treat and it's longer to treat.
So if someone's been suffering with anxiety and depression
Mhm.
for a while, and they've been to a doctor and it's still not working, you could still step in there as well?
Yes, because somebody who has that lived experience, I always say, I know how to get you out of that hole. I know how to give you there's so many resources. When I say resources, it could be anything from apps to free support groups to just some social media outlets. There's a lot between NAMI and Mental Health America where you can write your story or do a vlog or speak it, and just all these different therapeutic ways to become accepted of what's going on in your life. I think the acceptance piece is probably the hardest for people, and then empowerment. How do I move forward? Because what's happening with me mentally doesn't define who I am, right? Because and just really accepting that physical and mental illness are equal is really, really important.
Sure. And I was just wondering now, do your clients have an access to call you all the time or call you?
So, yep, my top 2 packages that I have unlimited text message support, and it goes really well. They can talk to me, and I'm pretty open with the timing on it and stuff like that, but I have clients that are just like, oh, I just can't get out of bed this morning, I'm feeling so lousy, and I'm there to just pull them up and say, you know what, I know you can swing those feet over, over the bed and stand up, splash some water in your face, and then it just makes them feel less alone and less ashamed, because it's just ultimately the biggest fear with mental illness and all that is being alone and suffering alone, and so being the compassionate support for them.
And you got involved with this because you've had
Yep. So I have had mental illness for myself, diagnosed not until I was in my mid-20s, but I have anxiety, depression, panic disorder, and then I had phobias, specifically emetophobia when I was young.
Mm-hmm. And I know, I just think it's so wonderful what you are doing for this community.
Oh,
and you are located right on.
Yep, so 141 West Main Street, which is located in Shape It Up Fitness. And we're so excited because there's many other wellness activists here. Wild Roots just moved in next door to it, like in the same building. She does reflexology and ear candling, and then we have many other like Erica that you saw that Megan's renting out to just other people who are passionate about wellness. And here we like to say that we advocate for mind, body, spirit. So it's kind of the whole package and how they're all should equally be treated.
Exactly. And you have workshops too for everyone to kind of get a taste of what this is all
exactly,
about.
because I think that we all have a need to slow down and focus on ourselves in a way. I say that self-care isn't vanity, it's sanity. Because we're in a society where we don't put those needs first. They get pushed to the back burner, especially in stress or anything like that. So it's really teaching and empowering and advocating for other people that no, your needs need to come first. Because if your cup is so full of ickiness and stress and whatnot, it just can't have room for anything else. So we need to make sure that cup is filled with positive and self-advocacy and things like that. So.
I love it. I'm going to remember that line. What is it?
Yep.
It's
Self-care is not vanity, it's sanity. And yes, it's the only other thing, and until someone comes along with a better metaphor, is the oxygen mask, on an airplane.
Yeah.
You have to put yours on first because you can't give what you don't have. And if you're depleted, and especially I notice this with like young moms, they just do not take care of themselves in that way. And we as a society are we bring issues forward when they're debilitating versus really instilling the wellness and keeping things in check by having that wellness and being proactive in the self-care before it gets to be too bad.
And so Heather, someone can come in for his first 30-minute free consultation.
Yep.
Right?
So we do a free 30-minute meet and greet. So I want clients to be a good fit for me just as much as they are. And it's a great way to ask questions and feel, because I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. The clients that come to me, it's we're a good fit for each other.
Yes.
And they really, every time I do a 30-minute meet and greet, like it's magic happens because they just have that connection where they're, when someone gets it and someone's walked that path and somebody is able to relate on that level, it just feels so good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to spread the word. I think this is wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marta. I appreciate it.